with the Showbox for about 17 years. Started in early 2002 as a merch seller. I'm currently a house manager, so I've done all sorts of jobs here. I have been here for a really long time. The reason I've stayed is because of the people that work here. I love being around live music. I've tried to leave several times, but it's really hard just because I love the people so much. There are a lot of oddballs that work here, and it's kind of a place where people that don't fit in other places come and they feel comfortable and accepted for who they are.
A lot of greats have played there, so stepping on that stage, you realize that you're standing in the same place where Prince stood, where Pearl Jam stood. You get all these big name bands that and you're like, I'm working on setup on the same stage that some of my heroes have played. And I think that carries on through the shows throughout the whole night. Everyone who works there is just really glad to be there.
This has never happened.
It's home to so many acts throughout history, such as Prince, Duke Ellington, the Melvins, Lady Gaga.
Hey, that's it for Risers.
I've had the pleasure of playing there.
It's not a coincidence that these big names continually choose this venue. I mean, there's a lot of magic and a lot of respect for this venue.
There aren't a lot of mid-sized rooms left in the country. They're being torn down left and right. In July of 2018, we heard the news that a developer was going to buy the Showbox and tear it down and build a 40-story luxury apartment tower.
For Historic Seattle, we got involved in this because when we found out, like everyone else, that morning of July 25th, 2018, we knew it was something big, and we really wanted to help.
Overall, there just seems to be a massive hunger and engagement from people who just have this real visceral response to the possibility of losing this venue and want to get engaged and support in whatever way they can.
If it's gone, there's nothing that can replace it.
We started to come together pretty quickly. There was a petition that was started online by Jay Middleton, and then there were these Facebook pages that started popping up.
I feel like Seattle's music scene is being pushed out of Seattle, and I got really fed up and tired of it, and a friend suggested to me that I should start a petition to save the Showbox, and so I did, and didn't realize the power that it could happen with it.
Of course, we don't do this alone. We have co-nominators from Vanishing Seattle and Friends of Historic Belltown. And of course, the Showbox folks themselves, the longtime employees, and everyone associated with it have been obviously huge supporters. And the Friends of the Showbox that was created to kind of galvanize the groups, and we're working together to save the Showbox. And so that's really all part of a larger effort. And so the nomination is just one piece of that effort.
Friends of the Showbox really kind of just came from Shannon Wells was right at the forefront of being like, we need to make sure that this is centralized, that this is represented by a coalition of both people and the employees. It was really born from a need to be able to centralize information. We
formed a Friends of the Showbox group to try to unite the different groups that were working together, because Historic Seattle was doing work. Friends of the Market, we really wanted to get them involved, because if we do become a permanent place of the Pike Place Market Historic District, it's really important for them, obviously, to be involved, because if we want to be part of that and they want us to be part of it, we need to be working together. It was really important that we were not working separately or against each other in any way. So that's the purpose of the Friends of the Showbox, is to get the music community and the preservation community united to work to save the venue together. So the people in the Showbox started connecting with people outside, so the music community, through social media. And we started talking about what could we do to stop this. The movement just got bigger and bigger. The more people signed the petition, it went viral, and maybe within a matter of a few days, 80,000 people had signed the petition.
Pike Place Market is right there, on the corner. Our line is across from it, and it's just this flashing sign. You know you're almost to Pike Place Market when you see it at night.
Music put Seattle on the map. It's important to understand that landmark status does not protect the use of the building. there is a possibility that it could get landmarked, but we don't get to keep it as the Showbox as a music venue. We want to landmark the space. We also want to be part of the Pike Place Market Historic District so that we can try to preserve the use of the space as a music venue. And ideally, a third solution would be to find a preservation-friendly buyer to buy this building so that we can save it for the city.
Luxury apartment units.
We are in a historic place, and it has a lot of meaning for a lot of people, culturally, historically, architecturally, and it's been a part of the city since about 1917. It was actually originally called the Central Public Market, built as a public market to be a competitor to Pike Place Market across the street.
For the building to be gone in a place where music and memory making for so many families, for so many generations, it's been 80 years it's been here. With the memories it holds, it just seems like a shame for those things to disappear.
In 1939, another architect came in here and renovated it. And the design at the time that was popular was Art Deco and Streamline Moderne, which is very much what you see today on the exterior.
Basically, everything's on hold. How can we move forward with getting the community involved? Like, some people think that it's basically saved already just because of the temporary ordinance. So there's a lot of misinformation out there, so we still want to communicate what's happening to the public, but we also don't have a lot of information.
Basically what we specialize in is landmarking. So what we generally do, in fact, we're damn good at getting buildings landmarked.
Just because you hold a space near and dear doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to stay there. Love, I think, is not enough to save a building. It's love and community action that saves a building.
We believe in the power of a well-crafted social media post. We believe in the impact of a well-delivered speech before a landmark preservation board. We believe in the impact of talking to the so-called right people and the so-called not always right people, but still well-meaning people.
For Historic Seattle, we're the only citywide preservation nonprofit in the area, so this is something that we're used to doing, where we provide technical assistance to a community group here, a Save the or Friends of group there.
This dome ceiling is very much an important feature of the Showbox space. Some other important features are the columns that you see on the sides, and they are structural and also decorative as well.
This is probably the biggest one we've seen in our 40-plus year history, and so we felt it was imperative to contribute our resources to that. We do have staff bandwidth, which a lot of smaller community groups don't have, and a deep technical understanding of the landmarks and policy processes that impact what's going on with the building.
Making sure that it's understood that, like, with us adding and working towards this, it's also about representing the bigger picture of what we're also representing for the city. And for me, the whole Friends of the Showbox is a representation of that larger fight. And I feel very honored and very privileged to be able to share that space with you and to use this platform for that aspect of being able to save culture. So that's what this is really about.
Good.
So thank you.
All right.
Cool.
Very excited by all of the music brings people together. It's a universal language. We don't even have to speak the same language as a lot of our guests or the musicians that come through. And it's just, that eases everything.
So when you sort of kind of break down the space and you look at the different features, it looks like it's from another era. It's because it is. Throughout the decades, it has remained intact through different owners.
When we were taking pictures of everybody with their stories, I mean, I have stacks and stacks of stories, like I met my wife at the Showbox, did this for the first time, did that for the first time, like real true life experiences where you happened upon something, a shared experience with another person, and it wasn't just a planned interaction.
Kind of the death of the music scene in Seattle. I mean, I get it, there are lots of bands doing it at little tiny venues, but most of the bands coming up today and years ago all strive to play here. That's what they want to do.
Tonight, kind of that trippy acid jazz groove stuff, 900-ish soul.
Landmarking alone will protect the Showbox because landmark designation actually does not protect the use. It doesn't dictate what happens inside a building.
After show, they don't go back until after show, but we want to give the band 5 to 10 minutes on their request before we let those people back. I'm sure John knows.
History isn't just about beautiful architecture or pretty places. It's really about the meaning of place and what it means to people. And that's just as significant as a cornice or a column or architectural ornament.
Generally, security is always the bad guy, but here we're in a customer service position. You're a guest in our house. Welcome to the Showbox Adult Daycare Center, as I often refer to it. And they know we're here for them, even when they're in their worst state. And we try to remember that, you know. If you had a bit much to drink, we'll give you some water, we'll give you some time, and then you come back in. You won't go in the bar, but you'll come back in, you'll see the concert you paid for. Almost more like family.
Where's the... Oh, why is this in front of it? 1982. That was Andy Wood's band before MIDDLETON. I haven't been up here in a long time. I think it's so much random, either band or employee nonsense. Over time, over the past 80 years, many, many, many artists have played here. The vibe of the place comes from that history and from that lived-in experience.
I'll mention it in brief. Are you hosting, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Officially.
I'm just pooped. I don't want to.
No problem. Shoot it. Okay.
Go ahead. No, we were at 1,000 last I checked. You think about the thousands of people who have been in this building, that energy is here. Grumbles. And so it's in the walls and the floor, and it's people's sweat and blood is actually in the floor, you know? So like as gross as that is, it's all part of what makes a place and the feel and the vibe of the place. Where should we start? Hey, do we have any security on radio that can come help us push in the barricade?
Yes, there should be lots of security on radio right now who can help.
Just a little back, I think, for this side.
Yeah, go for Dom. This venue was built for live music, very specifically for live entertainment. Yeah, go ahead, start sending them. The Showbox is one of the best venues in the city to see live music. And a lot of really solid bands and talented musicians have come through here, and comedians and performers of all stripes. Let me take a look real quick just to be sure. I think you're good. Okay, go ahead, they'll take care of you. Thank you. The Ramones played the stage. Like, that's historic. I don't really care how long the building's been around. The Ramones played here. That's a big deal.
Go for Shannon. All right, if you want to give them the speech, go ahead, and then I'll give you the okay for when to let them in. Do you need more, or no, that's good?
Well, we had the ones that said, that like in big bold letters said save the Showbox, and people were taking them a ton last time.
I do a lot with vodka. You want a straightforward martini? It's a really special place to work. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of love and passion that's here between, you know, security, the bar staff. Every show's a little different. It's nice to see the community kind of come together for different things. Every night is really special in here, and I guess I love coming to work because of that. It's a place of love for a lot of people.
The Showbox means something different to every person that goes through those doors. Whether you're there to have a drink, whether you're there to work the venue, whether you're the person who's creating the magic that's on that stage. The Showbox has so much depth that I don't think there are really words that could describe that properly.
Hi, everybody. All right. We're about ready to open the doors. I'm going to give you a couple of our little rules and ideals for the Showbox here tonight. Okay. It's a 21+ show, which means you can take your booze anywhere in the building, which is pretty sweet. Downstairs, they're very excited. Now, if you do,
I mean, it sounds really corny, but we really are a big family. I mean, this place is home for a lot of us. It has been for years, and it will be. I don't want it to go anywhere. Like this building specifically, I know we've got another venue, and it's a great venue. I like working there too, but there's an aspect of this that you can't get at a lot of the other venues around here.
When I was doing the daytime box office, you get amazing opportunities to talk to people that you often don't get here because it's so loud, you don't get to have a real good conversation. And I get random people that would come in off the street and they'd want tourists from all over the world that would come here because their favorite band played here once. They just wanted to see the stage. My favorite one was this little old lady. She's got to have been close, she looked like she was close to 100 years old. And she came in one day, she said she didn't live in Seattle anymore. She was a go-go dancer here when she was 19. And she just wanted to see the space. And so I let her in, let her wander around all she wanted to, because I think old people can do whatever they want. Especially if you were a go-go dancer here when you were 19. And she just looked around for a little while and she came down, she had her eyes were welling up. She's like, just thank you so much. It looks just like I remembered.
It's a sense of home outside of home. When you're growing up and getting out of that community. I'm trying to show you guys. Trying to find your own, and to come here and be able to have that sense of love and compassion, and we genuinely care about people's experiences. We genuinely care if people are having a good time.
Puts such a positivity into most people. It brings them together in community, and without that, community falls apart. Even out here, I'll miss my street people. I've been here 9 years. I have my favorite stoop dwellers. I have my favorite street neighbors. There's a few that I asked to leave, but there's a rapport there, and it comes with the community, the block, everything. It's a special place if you're up here all the time.
This is a place where people tend to find themselves. Anybody who's going through any transition in their life as a teenager, music is what makes you who you are as a human being. It sculpts your whole existence. It sculpts your personality. So to be able to hold on to that value and to give people a safe place to feel completely free to do so without judgment, there's not a lot of places like that anymore. So it's really sad, but we're gonna keep fighting and show the community that that's what it's about.
We all experience the same struggles and the same strife, but we're all here for the same reason. We all have a passion for music and we love each other, so we're willing to deal with whatever to keep doing what we're doing. You know, it's a real passion. I feel like I grew up a lot here as an adult. When I first started working here, I didn't talk to anybody for almost a year. I didn't talk to any of my coworkers or anything like that. But between the kindness of my coworkers and the people who will come into the venue itself, I kind of found some confidence to step out my box and meet some people, you know? Yeah, this place means the world to me.
Hi, welcome. How are we doing tonight? Good, thank you very much. Oh, your phone too. Thank you very much. Everybody showed up and just started asking, what can I do to help? What do you need from me to keep this place going? One of the most frustrating parts about the Save the Showbox effort is that it's been slow moving. Everybody really would love that instant gratification of, yeah, we've got a solution, yeah, it's permanently saved, but you know, it's been this constant fight, this constant grind that we got to stick with has been the hardest part because so many people are motivated to save it. Thanks, guys. Come on in. I can help you right down here, folks. Slide on up. How are we doing tonight? Excellent, man. Come on in. Why did you put all your quarters in there?
I don't know.
Come on, man.
I didn't even mean to.
What is it, laundry day?
I washed the car.
Are you taking off?
Washed the car.
Oh, it's not that kind of party. All right, come on in. How we doing, bud?
Good, you?
Excellent, thank you.
What's really great about the Showbox is it's not about necessarily memory or nostalgia. It's relevant today. It just really resonates with not only patrons, but also with performers. This is an active, functioning space, and it has relevance today and not just in the past. It's not just about the facade, it's about what happens inside.
I'm a music junkie, and I saw an ad saying, do you like live music? Would you like to work at the Showbox? And I'm like, yeah, I'm there. That's like what I'm all about. So I term myself as a professional people watcher, and this is one of the best jobs you could have, to be a professional people watcher, basically. So.
The sense of community really showed itself specifically to me in the fact that when I first got hired, I was living as kind of a butch queer female under a previous name even, and throughout my time working there, my coworkers have really seen me go through my transition, female to male. My appearance has changed drastically, and all throughout the whole process, they were always just really accepting. When I did change my name, and it was really apparent, you know, but my physical appearance was changing drastically from when I first got hired. You know, Aaron Williams opened up briefing, hey, so we've got a new guy with us today. Looks a lot like this employee that used to work here. Here they are, they've got, you know, 2 years of experience. I'm like, guys, like, nice joke. Way to handle that, boss. You know, it was always just felt real casual. Nobody made it awkward, you know, whereas my day job was not at all like that.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, no problem.
To have them just be cool with it, you know, it's just still do this job description. Awesome. Glad you're still here, you know.
I think the energy of all these people that have been here, that have played here, and the fans that have been here is still alive in this building, and that's why people want this particular place. We don't want a shiny new venue that's called the Showbox in a new 40-story sterile apartment building. We don't want that. We want this place because the place itself is special, and people do have memories here in this place. There's something about coming together as a community to experience what is transformative about live music.
The floor also is very interesting. It's a sprung floor.
That is the original floor. Like, there have been some sections that have been replaced and repaired, but it is the original dance floor.
It just flows, it just feels good. It moves with you because of the springboard.
When you're dancing on it and there are a lot of people, it has give, you know?
And everyone's jumping and moving, and it just...
You know, the floor kind of moves with you, and it just sets it all off.
I personally think it creates this incredible unity between you and the people around you, because you are all putting your energy into it. You are making the floor move. It just gives me chills. I love it.
I just try to think the best thoughts about it as possible, because it's my home, it's my family, you know. I've driven here pretty much every day for almost 22 years, no matter where I lived. This is my home. This is the neighborhood.
It's worth celebrating. It's worth fighting for. I want my nieces to be able to come here when they're grown up and be able to indulge in the same experiences that I did as a, you know, socially awkward teenager trying to find where my footprints are significant on this planet. You know, it's very perennial to who you become as a person and who you are.
I found my love and passion for music through being in venues and spaces like the Showbox, and to be able to have that for teenagers to come when they see their favorite bands, I think there's something really special about that cycle that needs to be preserved. And for me, if we win, that's a victory.
We want this to stay as it is and continue to operate as a Showbox.
For thousands of people over the decades, it's the place where they saw their first concert. It's the place where they met their sweetheart. It's the place where many come together as one to enjoy music, to enjoy each other's company, each other's community. It's a place to unite and to be happy.
You know, it's like the physical contact, because this place is general admission venue, and so you're not stuck in a seat. Everything is reserved, and you just go and sit and you receive the music. This is a place where you interact. You're giving your energy, and it's coming back from the performance. I think that the people mixing together and physically touching each other and dancing together and being joyful in this space together is a transformative experience. It's important to understand that the venue is not saved at this time. We have a temporary stay of demolition. The ordinance is currently set to expire in July of 2019. The fight is not over. This is not a quick process, and we need people to stay in it with us for the long run.